In the summer of 2022, the Pierce County Parks and Recreation Department begins Phase 1 of a massive renovation at Sprinkler Recreation Center that will result in 6 synthetic turf fields accommodating fast-pitch and slow-pitch games for years to come. This significant upgrade of the earliest iconic softball complex in Pierce County, coupled with the Sarah and Heritage Field complexes, will go a long way toward ensuring that the legacy of softball in the area continues into the future and ties the next generations to a remarkable past. Softball arrived in the area in earnest 4 decades after baseball first made its appearance, with the Tacoma Elks Club began its sponsorship of men's fast-pitch teams. The Elks teams remained competitive well into the 1950s and set a foundation for future successes by other Tacoma area organizations, both in fast-pitch and in slow-pitch. The Tacoma Elks teams began in 1938. By 1945, area teams periodically were qualifying for the World Softball Tournament. The Stores Machinists finished third in the 1945 tournament, traveling to Cleveland, Ohio. In 1952, the Irwin Jones team advanced to Bridgeport, Connecticut, and finished second. The final national tournament appearance sent Mankey and Sons to Clearwater, Florida. The women's fast-pitch game got its start in 1940 with the Tacoma Tigerettes, a squad led by former U.S. Olympian Gertrude Wilhelmsen, who competed in the discus and javelin at the 1936 games in Berlin. It took 5 years until 1945 for the ladies' game to really take over in Pierce County. Lincoln Electric won state championships in 45 and 46, featuring pitcher Teddy Davis, along with 13-year-old Margaret Heinrich, a member of the first family of sport in the area. By the time the 1950s rolled around, women's teams gave the word travel new meaning in their titles. The Hollywood Boat and Motor team found its way all over Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Canada, featuring a 14-year-old pitching phenom, Louisa Mazuka, who went on to be inducted into the Amateur Softball Association National Hall of Fame in 2007, only the second woman from Washington ever to receive that honor. Mazuka was involved in one of the most celebrated fast-pitch duels of all time in the championship at the 1961 ASA Championships held in Portland, Oregon. Pitching for the Whittier Gold Sox of Whittier, California, Mazuka locked up with Joan Joyce and the Rebestus Breakettes out of Stratford, Connecticut. Joyce had just beat Whittier 2-0 to force the if game, which became an epic. Mazuka and Joyce each threw 14 scoreless innings before each finally allowed a single run in the 15th and kept going. It took a 2-out squeeze play in the bottom of the 19th for Mazuka and Whittier to beat Joyce and send both into history as ASA All-Americans for the year. Simultaneously, the men's fast-pitch game thrived. In a sport where pitching is paramount, nobody did it better than Lloyd Blanusa. By the mid-1970s, the fast-pitch game began to wane in and around Pierce County, but other forms of the game began to thrive. In the men's game, Heidelberg and the People's Church became well-known commodities in the area, but it was Tusi and Sons that made the area's first ever trip to a slow-pitch national tournament. On the women's side, Creekwater Dispensary drew tons of talent.
Kathy, as you recall, was it 1972 that the team was formed, and how was it?
Yes, it was 72, and it happened because we split teams at that time and lost our previous sponsor, and actually picked up girls from several different teams that came into McKnight's Foods.
The senior game in slow pitch also took off. At its height, senior slow pitch was led by the Half Century Plus League, which grew to more than 200 men's and women's players involved. Former Pierce County executive Joe Stortini may be the most decorated player coach the senior game has known in Pierce County. And one of the senior game's greatest ambassadors was Bob Young.
Next, we honor the first American Title 65s, a slow pitch team that in 1 year won 2 national championships. And representing the squad is Bob Young, who was a member of that team. Bob, first of all, 2 national titles in 1 year?
Right.
How did that happen?
Well, there's about 10 different senior softball organizations, And so several of them have national championships. They put them on at different times.
Well, they say a lot of the game is pitching. Pitching was one of the strong points, wasn't it?
You've got to throw strikes, and just really pitching in slow pitch is 1/10 of the individual concept there, because of the fact that you've got to throw strikes and you've got to try to mix them up a little bit, but realistically you've got to have a good defense behind you, and we have an outstanding outfield, probably one of the best in the country.
Where did you get players? How do you find them at that age?
Well, what we do is there's 8 of them from Pierce County, and of the ones, the 8 from Pierce County, there's only myself, Jerry Thacker, who's been around a while, Bill Meyer, and Bill Zimmerman, just from Pierce County growing up. The rest of them, we have 2 of our players from Portland. We pick them up from around the Northwest, and we have them Everett, Seattle, and so forth, because of the fact that it's really hard at our age to get, because we like to play at the top level, and to get individuals that can compete at that level, you've really got to look around. And we not only look for the top players, we look for players that are good people, and most of them are, because at our age we feel we're just fortunate to be out there playing at all.
Softball continues to flourish in Pierce County right along with the longer-standing game of baseball, with projects like the improvements at Sprinker and the high continued interest of recreation players, weekend warriors, and those that are more highly competitive. Softball continues to be a favorite endeavor of citizens all over Tacoma and Pierce County.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old